It's going.
Oh, yeah, nah, pretty good.
Thinking we should chuck a podcast. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, nah, I can. Come round. Let's do a thing.
Hello and welcome back to What Do You Reckon? This is round 12.
G'day.
And today we've got a very special guest, our friend, Kurt Thompson at Kurtogram. How you going, fella?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, not much.
Yeah,
good.
Bloody good. Pretty interesting. This is our second guest, and on both occasions we've borrowed shit off our guest to make this podcast happen.
Oh, I didn't even realise that. Yeah, we have too.
Yeah, well, when we had Ryan on, we borrowed his laptop and his interface.
And one of his cameras as well.
Yeah, we did, and now we're borrowing your camera.
Yeah.
Thanks,
but we've
pal.
already stitched you up for some jobs after this. So we got
Yeah, I thought it was a hang and for a coffee and rocked up, no coffee, and then roped into this.
I offered you some Makona.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, something.
Is
A
that
nice
an island
fresh blend
off of the
43.
Bahamas?
Tanil got it. I think it was because my parents might have it. I think that's why she got it. It was big. No, you know why we got it? Because it was to stop me from buying coffee.
Yeah, but the problem is, Makona, if you turn it around on the back, it says 40 plus, which means you got to be over 40 to drink it. and so I don't know. Maybe you thought it was the sunscreen rating or something.
I don't know. I thought it was how strong it was. Just 40 plus shots.
40 plus.
There you go.
Jesus.
It wouldn't do anything. If you just literally, you know how people do the thing with the Milo, how it's like, you know, they pretend to just put the one scoop in the cup and then they just pour the milk into the...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you did that with the Makona, it still wouldn't taste like coffee.
No, did you ever do the Milo just straight away out of the tub?
Nah, I probably would
Really?
got my ass kicked, I reckon.
You get the Milo cough. Did you ever do it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I definitely did
it's
it.
like you inhale it and
You
then...
inhale it,
Yeah. Or
Mine goes over
you
it.
put like 6 serving spoons into a little tumbler and then like a little bit of milk.
I went over after school one day to one of my friend's houses, and the little sister, she was having Milo with water.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Ugh.
What do you call that?
Dumb.
Crazy. I don't know. Psychopath.
Yeah.
Would you have Wheat Bix with water?
So I think some people do. On the challenge, I've heard that.
That's whack.
Yeah, I've had it. Well, I did that thing with the guitar covers where I was did the dry Wheat Bix.
Yeah, that's
I
no
one
good.
time did it before that, and I it was at a footy presentation day, and I rock up to the footy. I was the last one there, and my coach. This is actually Jake Friend's dad. He comes up to me. He goes, "Here, mate, have some breakfast." He's like, "You got to have this before you go on and play with the boys," and he gave me a dry Wheat Bix, and I was sick that day. And I didn't know. I'd never eaten a dry Wheat Bix before. I didn't know what happens when you do it. I just thought it was like a biscuit. Anyway, I did it, and I ended up like proper dehydrating, as you would from a dry Wheat Bix. And this is the most dehydrated I've ever been in my life because Mum came over to me because I like passed out, and all I could see was yellow. That was the only colour I could see.
Holy hell.
It was actually quite
Simpsons
scary.
land.
Yeah.
So I didn't eat a dry Wheat Bix until I was prepared, which was for that guitar video. Yeah.
Whoever did that to you shouldn't be allowed around children.
Yeah.
No,
He stitched you up.
he did.
But have you done the challenge? How you meant to try and eat one Wheat Bix in 1 minute, under 1 minute.
Well, I tried
and I
to
know
do
it
that.
sounds easy.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, that's like that cinnamon challenge that was big for a while. You saw people doing like YouTube videos of that. You meant to fill your mouth or like take a big like tablespoon of cinnamon or something.
Cinnamon.
But yeah, because apparently like you can't breathe.
Oh.
Yeah. Like
just
you can
imagine
you
it
can
being
watch all the
fire
reaction.
in your
Yeah,
mouth.
people just start like you know
Coughing.
spewing and coughing and all sorts of wild shit. I've never actually tried it, so I don't know the effect. But
Where's the cinnamon? It's not here.
we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
We got some cinnamon.
Why?
Because, no, you put it on
You're a bit
our,
of a chef, are you?
No, yeah, oats and blueberries.
Oh, there you go.
Chuck it on top of that.
Put it on your donuts.
I won't do all that.
Yeah. Nah.
Don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a bit of stupid shit talk, as usual, to kick things off. So, yeah, for anyone who isn't aware, which I'm sure they probably are aware if they're watching this, is that, Kurt, you're a bit of a man of many trades. I was thinking about this on the drive down here, that everybody's got a friend like Kurt.
Yeah, just one that's good at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, here, have this football, scores a try. Here, have a go at this surfboard, fucking doing cutties and everything. Like,
Yeah, you're pretty good.
yeah, everything you pick up, you've been great at.
Yeah. What are you shit at?
Fast
That's what we
runner.
wanna
Well,
know.
Yeah,
that's
what are
the
you
thing.
shit at?
If I was bad at something, I'd put it straight down so that no one saw me do it.
But yeah, because like obviously our friendship started through bands.
Yeah.
You were. I'm not getting this wrong. It was Good Night Midnight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a long time ago. My brain doesn't work.
We'll get
Yeah.
into that tour in a bit, but there's something that I remember about that tour specifically is that you brought hoodies, jumpers, and you sold them out on the first night or something.
Yeah, that was stupidity. I think it was just because everyone was cold. But
Yeah, but I swear we went up to like Gladstone.
We were in
where it was
North
hot.
Queensland.
yeah, North
And
Queensland.
you
I
just-
don't know why people bought them. They were so ugly. It was the crappiest design ever. And you know what? Yeah, it probably wasn't even winter.
Yeah.
And we had like, that's probably the only merch we had. It was like, 60 hoodies or something. And at like $25 a pop or $30 a pop.
But we took you guys on tour and you killed it more than us with merch
Yeah.
because you had merch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
right.
It's helpful.
You had the songs, we had the merch.
But yeah. So yeah, that's how we began. What year was that?
2001.
Nah, it wasn't that long ago.
Be going back 7-ish years now.
It'd have to be 8 years ago.
Yeah.
2008.
Because I've been in the new
No, it
band
was, no, it
for
was-
like 7 years.
I had a hand tattoo. So about
Drop
9 years
name drop.
ago. No, because I remember that because that was when it
Really?
was
That
freshly
long?
done. Because I remember the photos from that tour and just having this big red hand.
But
So that's
Blood
why.
Wolves was 7 years ago.
It must have.
Was Blood Wolves after that tour, or was
No,
that
we
the
had
Blood Wolves tour?
Blood Wolves hadn't come out then.
No.
Oh,
It
right.
was
That was
after
just as
that.
you
Yeah.
joined.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
true.
So it was probably
Okay.
about 9 or 8 years ago. There you
Yeah,
go.
wow.
That was the first time we went on tour with you.
Yeah. Good Night Midnight and Take Us to Vegas.
Yeah.
We did what? Gladstone, Bundaberg, some other
every
weird joints up
McDonald's.
north.
Yeah.
Yeah, every McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's I do remember about that tour is because that's when we first met Brent as well,
Yeah.
or when I first met Brent. And it was like, he was just carrying on. Like, I didn't know about his personality. And Brent, for those listening, is Kurt's brother, who's a bit of a wild unit.
Yeah.
And back then, it was like, we were just like, how's this fucking drongo, like, in their band? What's his deal? Like, we found out
we
he's your
didn't
brother.
understand- yeah,
and,
we
like,
didn't
you were the only one who knew how to manage him.
Yeah.
So it's like, we were at a Macca's at, like, 1:30 in the morning or something like that. He's ordered a full pounder, so it's
Yeah.
4 quarter pounders stacked together. He's like covered in like grease and
and-
oil
oh,
and shit.
I-
And then he's like kicking off, like wanting to fight some dude, and you're there just being like, "Don't be a dickhead, mate. Like,
Yeah.
just calm down."
Yeah.
Just like the most reasonable, like talking down as though he's like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I remember on that tour, your singers, Gemma and
Terry.
they drove in a car separately.
Yeah.
So we always assumed that they were just harmonising the whole way.
Like
singing.
Glee.
Just singing Sweet Child of Mine.
I wish they could harmonise.
Oh, they did great.
Yeah, they did.
They did
No,
great.
no.
But yeah, so long story short, we met through bands and then you got into photography.
Yeah, how did that start for you?
Well, it all started with the Steve Jobs iPhone. Realistically,
Yeah, right.
I had an iPhone 3, and there was some app called Hipstamatic that was on there,
I remember
and it was
that.
it was before Instagram, and it's like it looked like an old school camera on the back, and you could literally just take a photo, and then you could shake it, and then it would just go to a whole different filter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so it was like, oh, all these filters and all this stuff. Like that was before filters were even a thing, and
Yeah.
I think I just enjoyed taking photos, and I felt like maybe I had an eye for composition and all that stuff, even though I didn't know what that was back then. But it was just like I took a photo and it looked better than someone else's, and that's all I knew. And then I'd upload stuff that was crazy edit and looked like dog shit, and everyone would be like, "Oh, that's so good," and then I was like, "Oh." I was actually going on a trip to Europe, and then I was like, well, I'll buy a camera because, I'm going to go to some place that I've never been before on holidays and take some images. And I remember talking to Dan, who's in my current band, The Brave, and he's been taking photos for since he was born or whatever, I don't know. And I just asked him, what camera should I get or whatever, and he said some other guy was using a Sony, and they're the new thing and mirrorless camera and all this stuff. So I just bought whatever they recommended, And then, at least for the first 2 years, I just put so much time into taking photos, and I learnt so much. I was always like, oh, I'm never going to use Photoshop. Oh, I'm never going to put a preset. Like, I'm never going to add filters and all this shit. And it's just funny because then you look back and you're like, what do you mean? How could you progress if you didn't do any of these things?
Yeah, and there is such an art to the post-production of things, like in songs, in film, in photos, and it's not cheapening what you do because that's another skill that you're learning and adding on and progressing with. But so, how long ago would that have been that you bought that first camera?
That was around when I was living at
Must have been, I reckon it would have been, if we were doing band stuff 8 years ago, it would have been 6 years ago.
Yeah. But I remember you were one of them ones that was turning into them crazy... danger photographers.
Yeah, I was doing some dumb shit.
Yeah, you were climbing up shit to get the shot.
That was dumb. I don't know why.
No, because remember when I was living at Cannon Hill?
Yeah.
At the complex?
Yeah.
So they were building, there was this building site on that same complex, and there was cranes and shit. Anyway, Kurt wanted to go in just because it was nighttime, no one's around, just get this cool shot. Anyway, I reckon you were in there for about half an hour, maybe an hour. Just I could hear bangs and shit going on in there. I was like, what's he doing? And I was actually getting concerned that you were about to start climbing the crane to get one of them shots where you dangle your feet off the edge of the building.
Because they were in.
I know, they were in. And you were...
I climbed up about 25% of it. And then I was like...
you started climbing up it.
And I was like, no, this is probably not for me. And then that was the last time I did it, Because I was just like, and then, YouTubers and all that are doing... parkour while having a GoPro, at the top of these things. And then you hear guys just falling off and dying. And I'm like, well, that would be me. I'm not that good with heights anyway. And here I was just up, a crane trying to juggle your camera and
but I reckon
stupidity.
It was, well, because there was starting to be a small group of photographers in Brisbane then that we knew about that were in the scene. I guess in the music scene turning into photographers. Yeah. And I think you were going to be the first one to get one of them shots. And that's why it almost had to be done.
Yeah.
It was
I was pretty excited about it. I can still think about it now, but no way I'd do that.
Nah, don't do it anyway. Guess what? The shot's been done.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, that was one
taken care of.
Yeah. Where was it? When we went to New York and where's that? Dumbo,
yeah.
And everyone is down this street getting the exact same shot that everyone's had before on Pinterest. And then Kurt said the same thing. He's like, oh, I'm going to go there, but I'm going to get the same shot that everyone else has got. So...
Yeah, literally. And there's good guys who've already done it. So just, buy one of their prints or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't need to take it.
I mean, for you, it was almost just a memory shot.
It was cool just to see the place and be like, oh, that's where the photo was taken,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that area just because it was...
Oh, it's cool. It was what we've always seen on Pinterest and all that we finally got to see.
Is Pinterest underrated?
What do you mean? How is it? Underrated?
Or is it overrated?
Oh, okay, yeah. It's underrated.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
No, I reckon underrated. Yeah, I reckon it's great. One place to, I guess, draw inspiration for imagery. But is there anything like that for music where you can just go and then there's songs or demos? Or
Apple
is it
Music.
just Apple Music? Are you giving
just so you can rip off everybody else's shit.
I don't know.
Spotify's pretty good. Well, there is, I guess, Spotify, because they have... playlists that are curated for you. So every day you log on, it says, here's today's playlist.
Yeah.
Here's some new artists.
I think they need to make something like the square boxes of Pinterest, which is the band photo.
Album art?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah,
I don't know.
You can't trust the album art.
But, I don't know. There's got to be something. Hurry up, get onto it.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, I've never used Pinterest, so...
Oh, it's where inspiration
I can tell,
from.
yeah.
Well played.
Yours would just be all black, just black tiles.
Well, what is the end goal shot?
For what?
For you? Okay, for starters, I'm going to ask you, what has been the 3 best shots you've ever taken?
I reckon that one of you last year. Yeah.
Where?
Skating in bloody...
Venice.
Yeah, I reckon that was sick.
It was a good shot.
Yeah.
There's another really good one of you skating in New York, in Manhattan.
I think that's probably
there we go.
my
There's
favorite.
2 out of 3.
Two.
So
The third one probably me playing guitar or something.
yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, those were excellent shots. They were really cool.
No, okay. Well, what's a shot that you want to get one day of?
I don't know. I feel like, over my career of being a photographer, I feel like my style has changed. My interests have changed, and then also, what I like. Yeah. So for me, I don't know what the shot is that I'm chasing or want to have. Like last year, I got to spend a bit of time with Tiger Woods, and some of the shots I took of him, I'll have forever. Now, and it's like, holy shit, I was actually there. It's not just a photo of him. It's like, what they say is, a picture paints 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, holy, that I just
more than
remember the
1,000
time. I remember the moment. I remember how I felt. Like I remember everything about that image.
Yeah.
So probably, Tiger, and then you. 2 shots of you second.
Were you like starstruck with Tiger? Were you nervous?
It was crazy. Yeah. It was just because I didn't know how close I was going to be able to, work with him, where I was going to be on the course, or any of that stuff over the, a couple of times that I worked with him. But then I remember getting to America the very first time I went there, and I landed. I was on the plane, and the hostess or host, do you call is a guy a host, or
I guess
still a hostess? Or is it just
I would
for
say
chicks?
host. Yeah.
I called him hostess. Thanks, mate. But anyway, he saw that I had some golf sticker on my on the back of my laptop, and he was like, "Oh, do you like golf?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually here to shoot some golf stuff with TaylorMade." And he was like, "Oh, when I land, I'm going straight to watch the golf." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, where's it being played?" And it was only 15 minutes from where I was staying.
Oh,
so while I was online, I quickly, bought the air internet, and logged on, got my ticket. And then I was just so hyped because I was like, within the first hour of me landing, I was at the golf course that I didn't know I was going to be at. I thought, because I was originally just going to go down to San Diego in a couple of days. So here I land, and then I get my ticket, get some Uber to somewhere, walk, 2Ks through the crowd. And then the very first opening I get onto the golf course, like Tiger's right there, like playing. So I didn't even have to go find him on the course or anything. It was so, and I had no reception there or anything, and I was by myself. So I'm like, I was just so hyped to be there. And I was like, I can't share this moment with anyone. Like, this is it. I got to just take it in and be like, holy shit. Like,
be fully
this is my
absorbed.
first time ever seeing Tiger. Like,
wow.
Because before last year, Tiger had played in Melbourne a few years back, and that was when I wasn't really into golf. Like I had 10 years off where I just didn't care who was playing or what was happening. But so I just thought I'd never be able to experience seeing what I call the greatest golfer in history in real life. Yeah, so
probably the greatest sportsman nearly.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he's still going. That's the thing. And the other guys who are on his level in different sports probably have retired or they're not playing, like
he's the Michael Jordan of golf.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, Jordan and Tiger are 2 of the biggest, like, names for me. Yeah. Like, I'm just, anything that they've done is just, for me, yeah. It's just like inspirational. I'm just like, holy shit.
They're like, as well as being amazing athletes, they're just like really special individuals.
For sure. And people say that when you meet someone who's on that level, they have an aura about them, and they just give off this, I don't know, this vibe. And it was definitely the case. It was
like
hectic.
You could feel it.
It was just like, holy shit, I'm getting better just being this close to him. It's like, whatever I do now, it's going to be good.
Did you actually get to like interact with him, or were you just sort of there and shooting?
It was a short interaction, but pretty much they briefed me and said, look, he's not going to look at you. He's not going to talk to you. Don't worry about it,
Yeah.
That's just what he does.
Because he'd be in the zone anyway.
Exactly, yeah. But my mate, Ollie, who works at TaylorMade, who, facilitated everything, absolute legend, he went out of his way, which was probably, not normal for him to do either, like to approach Tiger. Usually he just chills out. He works with Tiger like, every week.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't go up and just shake Tiger's hand or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
But he went out of his way to be like, hey, Tiger, this is Kurt from Australia. He's going to be here this week with us. And then Tiger stuck out his hand and shook my hand. And I was just like, oh my God, what, like, and I was just like, holy shit, what is happening right now? And then we had a brief conversation, literally probably went for like 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was off to the first tee, and I was just still standing there, just being like, "What just happened?"
Still haven't washed the hand
Yeah,
either.
exactly. No, I still haven't.
Wow.
That's so awesome.
But yeah.
No, keep going.
Oh, and I thought, I should get him to sign something or whatever, and then I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. Like even though I'd love something signed by Tiger, like hanging up in my room or give to my kids or all that stuff. I was just like, look, I'm here in a professional kind of environment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like a fanboy and
No.
Yeah, sure.
maybe down the track if I worked with him more and more, but
Well, that's the thing. If you ask for that puts you in the fan zone. Whereas if you don't ask for it, it has the potential to put you in the friend zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
true.
you want to be.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
That's better than a signed piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be his mate and hang out with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
But I think that's the best thing about you and your photography is, the shots are sick, but you've been able to somewhat live a cool life meeting huge names from just taking photos. Like, so it's a passion that you love has been able to get you to see the things you love.
For sure. And I always say it, but the best thing I've ever done is literally pick up that camera.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
I've got to travel the world and do just crazy shit and work for clients that I never thought I'd be able to have.
Yeah.
And, actually have a full-time career from it. Like, there's no second job. There's no hustle on the side. It's just like, this is my actual job.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So sometimes I just have to realize that, holy shit, like, this is my job.
Stop and
This is
pinch
what I do.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I remember the day you took the plunge of just quitting your job to do photography. In my head, I'm like, oh, you sure you want to do it? But I'm like, now it's just like, good on you. Like, far
Good
out.
thing you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, in my head, I was like, I was just so it's a lot of everything that I do. I'm always just 100% into doing it. So for me, like, there's not an option to fail. It's just like, I don't know, just go do it. I don't know. I don't see any fallback. Like,
I'm always, I have been told, like, been asked a few times if I'm going to just quit my job and just do Shredlife full time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm way too scared to do it, or I'll just never know until I do it. Like,
Yeah.
you're too scared.
I think honestly,
Because
I think it is.
there's other people who have done it, and how do you think Billabong got to
Exactly.
where they are? I don't know. It's. I know that a lot of people say, "What's the thing?" Like how you manifest.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I just don't think you've manifested it yet, or you're scared of something. I don't know.
Oh, I feel I've manifested to the point of my plan of letting Tanil do it full time first.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm on track for that, but after that, it has to be done. That'll be the next step.
Yeah.
There's also an extent that some people naturally take risks more than others.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
And I've been that way as well. Like when I knew that I wanted to do music and be in a band, that's all I did.
Yeah.
And then when I knew that was over and I wanted to try something else, that was all I did.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel that. But like for me, it's always been on that journey to find what the next thing is, because you reinvent yourself through your life, like I'm sure prior to photography, you thought you were going to be a musician perhaps, or, prior to that, you thought you were
what
going to...
What do you mean?
You get those different dreams and you reinvent yourself. And so even now with photography, you've reinvented yourself as a photographer, because I'm sure what you imagined you'd do when you first pick up the camera, or what, that you were going to be a photographer to the stars or just an art photographer.
Yeah.
It's changed now, that goal has changed. And even now you're into videography. So once again, there's a new...
Yeah, a new avenue or you're always growing. And that's the thing, even in your career, personally, you just grow. And that, I don't know where I heard, but, in your career, they say that you should, change every 5 years, like either your role or your career or whatever.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it's hard work to do, but
5 years doesn't seem like
you just do it. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Do you even master stuff within 5 years? Probably not. That's probably the person who told me is probably a quitter. And they're just like, every 5 years I just bowed and started something.
Yeah.
They've really got no money. Then
Was this like an old chippy?
I don't
And
know.
now he's an electrician?
It's probably the because I did a trade as a boilermaker, so I was probably one of those guys.
With like your style of photography and the clients that you pick up, etc., have you had points along the way where you've consciously gone, now I'm going to take that route and do that discipline? Or has it been kind of more a natural, fluid thing where something's popped up and you're going, yeah, I'll go with that?
So everything has popped up and I ran with it.
Yeah.
So at first, I was doing a lot of lifestyle and fashion stuff. And then next, was, I've done a bit of real estate and a bit of whatever it is, whatever comes my way. But the one that I made a conscious decision of to try and cover was sports and golf. To be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I had a goal, maybe it was 2 years ago, it was to shoot for the PGA, which is the Oz PGA, which is the Australian body of golf.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, okay, this is a 2-year goal. This is what we're going to do. And then within 6 months, they were one of my clients. And I was like, oh, damn, I was so stoked. This is actually happening, I'm the first point of call, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, manifest.
And yeah, well, I don't know. But yeah, I think that, with the golf industry, especially because I don't think there was anyone doing anything really interesting within that sport.
Yeah.
Capturing it, it's always just the same stuff that you see on Channel 7 or one of those sports shows that are just everything's the same. Yeah.
Just
it's
a generic.
Really generic. Yeah. So it was, so if I could have, my input into something different, even as simple as the edit style,
Yeah.
you see a traditional edit on whatever sports star, it's that one look. It's same as the newspapers, it's that really high flash look, and then it's if you do something different, and it's good, people are going to like it, and then you're actually going to get more work. So
yeah, well, I have noticed that about your golf photography is because I'm interested in golf in terms of going for a swing every 2 years. I'd like to get more into it, especially now, but I've never taken a vested interest. And then seeing your photos, it isn't that generic high flash bland sort of thing. There's depth and emotion to it, and maybe I can read into it a bit more, being an artistic creative type, but I certainly think that your photos are more dynamic. Even though it's a still shot, there's movement to it and there is depth and emotion, and it does make it so much more interesting. And it stops people having that mentality of golf is a stuffy, preppy sport or something that. You are bringing youthful interest to it.
And that, for me, that is a big goal to be because I know how much I love the game because I grew up playing it. It's I want to capture something where people want to be oh, I want to try golf, because for me, it's the more people that can play the sport and just understand how much I love it,
Yeah.
Well then, I just feel they'd be psyched on it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel the older you get, the more time you probably have for sports like golf, because it's more of a social kind of outing than, so if you go play rugby league for a club, it's a lot more physical, and
it's going to be a certain age
you got to work on Monday and you don't want to get slammed on the weekend.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And at least in golf, you can play it and get on the beers. So the other thing about you and sports and getting gigs and all that crap, you got one for the Broncos. And you stitched me up hard one day. And I'm still getting stitch up from that shit.
What? What's the stitch up?
So, I got this message one day from Kurt, and this is all it was, is would you wear a Broncos jersey for $400? That's all it was. Yes, of course I would. This is what it was, the gig. So I rock up to the Broncos Leagues Club, and I go inside, you take me down to this room where they're doing all the photos, and it is a rack of probably about 50 or 60 Broncos jerseys, shirts, everything. And I was going to be the poster boy for the whole Broncos.
Yeah, you were.
I was.
You're probably still on there.
I am, because I know this, because the other day, stitched up, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were giving me shit all day. You were telling everyone, he's a Storm fan.
Yeah, they knew.
What was that?
I hate those bloody Melbourne players.
Yeah, and then even I was on the Broncos Snapchat with that. What's that bloke's name?
Can't remember. I know who.
Yao Yi.
Yeah, him. Yeah,
and I'm in some shot with him, and he's talking, and I'm just I look so unhappy in this shot. People send me screenshots. He's how the hell are you even there right now? I'm Kurt stitched me up. Anyway, the other day when I was looking at a new car, the chick came in and she goes, "Hey, is this you?" And she holds up the Broncos, the
kidding.
Powers jersey.
That's a good jersey, but
That is, and I said that, like, look, I was the whole website like 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
clearly that's still on there.
yeah,
Wow.
And just
Is that the Powers bidder?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a
What's
sick
that?
jersey.
The 80s
Good jersey.
throwback jersey.
Yeah,
The retro.
Red hot time.
But yeah, good stitch
Wayne
up.
Bennett coaching.
Yeah.
King Wally was playing.
But
Bloody
yeah.
hell.
All the good players.
But you're still doing stuff here and
Yeah,
there. for
yeah, here and
Broncos?
there, yeah. Like a lot of companies, that's the thing. With being a contractor and
Yeah.
just working for myself, companies have budget issues or they want to go in a different direction. And, so sometimes it's hard not to take that personally, because you're like, well, is my work not good enough or like what's going on? Like, and there needs to be some level of communication there, I feel, between any client just to at least reassure you that, hey, it's not you, it's me. Or whatever it is. Because sometimes I'm just like, well, yeah, what's going on? Like, and a lot of the time it is, it's just, they've decided to go internally. They can cut on costs, pay some graphic designer to take some photos on the iPhone,
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've always learnt that phase only happens for a little bit and then,
once things
you'll be back in the hot seat. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that
they'll
makes
be like,
sense.
well, this is looking shit house. What's going on?
That
Oh,
must
wait
happen
up.
for designers all the time. Like being in the clothing industry, you go with one designer and then you do another range with a different designer. I never really thought about it, but probably the first designer is probably thinking that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
It happens, and that's the thing. Like, but you got to expect that as a designer, as a photographer, as a musician.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be picked? If I have been before, or give me the opportunity or the chance. But it's just like, what it's like. It's like playing a festival. Why did your band get picked? I don't know. There's probably 10 reasons why it did, and 10 reasons why it didn't next time. Like, it's just
Oh,
and you can't take it personally. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose like you would question yourself of like, oh, was there something wrong with the way I conducted myself or the way things were, executed or something like that. So it'd be good to get that feedback
For sure.
from a client.
But they never do.
No,
And
no.
that I would love, just like there's Google reviews and all that. I'd love every year, maybe to send a client. This is what I should do. I'm just thinking about it now. But send them, be like, pleasure working with you this year. Blah blah. What can we do better? How can we improve?
Maybe
And then they'll probably
don't do that on Google. Maybe just like
no, not Google. No.
just
Just
stitch you
email.
up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could give you a review because Kurt and I, this time last year we were in America, New York.
Yeah, of course.
Right now we're in New York. Did you know that?
Wow.
No, I didn't.
No, well, no, because I went through the memories today. I do it every day. No, but anyway, I didn't give you a review after the thing.
What, on Google?
Yeah, well, anyway, I didn't give
You
you
can
any
do a live review
I'm
right
trying to
now.
think,
It was shit house and
Yeah,
you're annoying.
but your
Yeah.
mates, it's just like, I don't know.
I think what was difficult about you? I think we were
Besides
always
your dry humour.
well, this was everyone knows you as Latergram as well, and that whole trip we were late to fucking everything.
That was such a tight trip as well because you were talking about this trip for years and it was always that thing of like, we're going to do the sports trip. It's going to be a boys thing. I want everyone to come. And so I was invested in it. And Ryan was too. And I think Alex. And so yeah, that sounds sick. Like, what a great time. And then the itinerary comes back and it's like, we're going to 50 countries in 2 days. I was just like,
Basically.
I am not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like we packed more in than we
anything.
initially thought as well.
A lot of people said, like, how would I say? I said if I was to give that itinerary to someone else who wanted to go on a holiday, you would add on another week. Or two,
Yeah.
Because I remember texting you about it being like, oh, when you're here, go to this place. When you're here, go to this place, thinking that that's what it was, like that there was more time. And I think that was even at the stage where I was thinking about coming along with. And then you're like, oh, yeah, we sort of only get like 10 hours in Arizona or whatever it is. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you're there for 10 hours?
It was so weird. It was work straight up. It was work, but we made the best of a working trip.
Hell of an experience. It looked amazing. Like, if I had gone along, it would have sucked for me because it would have just been standing there while you guys do like
the photos
business
and all
shit.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like an amazing experience. Like, hell of a way to see that country, especially for you for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But I remember Tennille was like, "Are you sure you and Kurt are going to be all right to do this?" Because Kurt's always late, and I don't know if I trust you with itineraries.
I wasn't late today. You said 12:30. I was here at 1:15.
Yeah, you got Fijian in you, don't you?
No.
No, it's Filipino.
Filipino, yeah.
Sorry.
Fiji time, but
Yeah.
it is. I run on
Island
Fiji
time.
time, yeah.
Is there a filo time?
I don't know.
You're just always filling in time. Anyway, so the thing is everywhere we went, if it was to the airport, we were like the last ones to get on the plane. If we got to a train station, the train was rocking up as we got to the platform. Even like,
Isn't that just what I call maximising time?
100%. But there's got to be a level of stress.
No, I don't think there's any stress. It's just like, what time do I need to be there? What time? I know what time it leaves, that's cool. I'll be there 1 minute before it needs to go. Like,
Man,
as long as there's no car crash or no, you know.
Even in the morning, you know how we got that skate shot in New York? Like,
Oh yeah.
So that was a rush job. So we had this idea that we went to the Knicks game the night before, and we saw that big Penn Street station in New York.
Yep.
And we were just like, fuck, we should get some photos out front of this in the morning. So we went down there.
But we only had that
Sunrise.
morning because we
That's
were
all we
leaving
had.
that day. Yeah.
Yeah, we're leaving that day,
Yeah.
but we're also going to Rockefellers straight after.
Yeah.
So we're running at probably like 3Ks. This is probably the first time you ever ran.
Yeah, it's probably 6 a.m.
Yeah, so we're running to this place to get the photo before we have to go to this other thing and get the photos. And as we're on the way back, Kurt's running ahead, literally through those streets, just taking the photos as I'm skating past. He's like, "Yeah, I've got the shot next street." So he runs ahead. I skate through, takes a shot, keep going. And then we just ended up like, fuck, this is the best shots ever, just out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
they were good shots. Yeah.
On the way back, out of nowhere.
And there was like a 15-minute time window. That's all we had.
that's awesome.
Whereas everything else was so much more planned. Whereas they were just like, that looked cool
on the
last
go.
night. Let's like go there in the morning. And
Yeah.
had to get up at 6 a.m. or something. And
Man, there's something so special about New York City, hey? It's like when you're there, you feel a different energy and power about the place.
I didn't realize because I've always been like, yeah, New York will be cool, but I just never really did much research or anything. So then when I got there, for me, it was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
it's a big city.
It's like literally that Alicia Keys song is playing the entire time.
Yeah,
you're
in my
there.
head, and I love that song. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, like, because I remember being there, I think it was my first time in New York, and I got there, had to stay the night, and then I was going to Worcester, Massachusetts that day because the Acacia Strain was shooting their DVD that night at the Palladium in Worcester. So I stayed 54th Street in Manhattan, woke up at like 2 in the morning, and this is in December, so like freezing cold snow, pack my backpack, throw it on, and I must have got the times wrong. I had to catch a Greyhound bus from Union Street Station.
Yeah, that's what we were late to there.
Yeah, so like 2:30 in the morning, I'm just running the streets of Manhattan, and it's like minus
That is
2
so
degrees
early.
or something
Yeah.
like that. And it's like the whole time I'm just thinking about all the Law and Order SVU murders. Just
Dun, dun.
like so sketchy. Finally make it to Union Street, and then like waiting for the bus downstairs, and there's all these other like sort of sketchy characters that are getting on the same bus to head like through Connecticut and Massachusetts, and there's a bunch of dudes sitting there looking real shady, and then all of a sudden someone pokes their head around being like, yo, cops and a dog, and these dudes like run off into the bathroom, like, or they're all obviously carrying weed and stuff like that. Like it was just the most bizarre journey from start to finish, but yeah, then ended up going to Worcester and like being a part of the Acacia Strains DVD shoot and all that sort of thing. But yeah, like that time in New York, it's just like I was running the streets of Manhattan 2:30 in the morning, freezing cold, and like going past, like seeing the Manhattan Bridge and the Chrysler Building, and just like
Just
Quick second just to take like, holy
Literally.
shit, that's the thing.
those full pinch me moments. Like I'm really here. This is like it's just wild.
yeah, that's why I could definitely live there, but I don't have any money to do that. You know, it's like I would love to live there. I in all of America, I just feel actually safe. You know, whereas before that very first trip when I went there, it was just because it's televised so much that all these things, that bad things are happening.
Yeah.
But then you go there, and maybe I was just oblivious to, you know, shit happening around me. But I was just like, oh, this is the best place ever, you know? Like,
Yeah. Well, another thing that I did when Rani and I were there was so there's a band called the Cro-Mags. I don't know. Did you guys ever listen?
I have heard of it.
never.
So their original singer, John Joseph, he does punk rock walking tours in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and it's all about like sex, drugs, rock and roll. So he takes you down there, and he was homeless in like the early 80s or late 70s, something like that anyway, in New York when it was like a really wild place. So he was like a 15-year-old homeless kid selling drugs, getting involved in gangs and found punk rock and all that sort of thing. So he takes you to like Tompkins Square Park, where he used to live in the apartment above a guy that used to butcher his girlfriends and then feed them to the homeless in the park. What? And then like A Street Studios.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, A Street Studios, where like the Bad Brains recorded their records, and they were like riots broke out in there because of like the gangs coming in, like belting all the punk rock kids, and just like these amazing stories, and like where Joe Strummer used to live, and just crazy stuff. Like
there's a lot of history here. What do you do in Australia for history like that?
Yeah, well, I guess they've been in country a lot longer than us, and
things have happened.
It's crazy. And just hearing you talk about it, I'm like, oh man, I'd love to learn more about it, you know, and especially like from the music side of things as well, you know, to know where a lot of these bands, you know, toured or originated from, or, you know, what the scene was like. Yeah. You know, because I feel, well, now that there's COVID, I don't think there's scenes anywhere, you know.
No. And it's even kind of sad because on this walking tour, he goes, you see that shop over there and it's like some boutique fashion store. He goes, that's where CBGB's used to be. And like now there's, you know, multi-million-dollar apartments above it, and Kate Hudson lives in one of them, and they've got this weird boutique store that sells CBGB shirts for like $120 and something. It's just like, that's not fucking punk rock. That sucks. Like, you know, like so there's stuff like that where it's like, there's so much history. Like the Ramones played there, the Sex Pistols played there. It was like one of the hottest punk rock clubs that led to that entire subculture just exploding, and now it's gone. You know, so but it's an amazing city. Like, and then even if you go back to Civil War era stuff, especially in that part of the United States, and you go to Boston and you go to Washington, and you sort of go on that trail of how they got their independence. It's an insane place.
Actually, there is one bit of history that I do love about New York that we got to get a photo in front of.
What? I don't know what you did.
That's my wink.
Oh, there we go. I was like, what?
We got some kit we finally did.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, that took me a while to pick up on that. I forgot that I put those on there.
Nothing for you.
That's awesome. That was a cool spot, but the thing is, it was like we had to go across, you know, the other side of town to get the photo, and then there's literally nothing over that side. It's just that one corner of the, you know, the Seinfeld building.
There's Starbucks on every freaking corner, but I remember we did go to a Starbucks on that side.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah, like because that's the Upper West Side, so you can go to Tom's Diner. Yeah, and then further up from there, we talked about this last time. Is you can actually also see the apartment block that they use as the external shots for Jerry's
that would
building.
Have been cool. Yeah.
But if you go a little further up that street, there's some spots there that they've used a lot in movies set in the Bronx, because it's quite close to the Bronx once you're getting up there. So like, for instance, Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx. There's a whole section of that street where they shot most of that. And also the Manhattan Project, there was something to do with it up there. So that was the whole World War II where they split the atom and all that sort of crazy covert shit. So like, unless you know about that kind of stuff, which I didn't, I think it was locals, like our hotel concierge that was like, talk to this person, go on that tour, because they can tell you about what's cool up there while you're checking out Tom's Diner. Because for them, it's New York City. It's like, I see that shit every day.
One of the weirdest things that I came across, and I wasn't even planning on it, it was just subliminally stored away in my head, that in Big Daddy, where they chuck the stick out in front of the rollerblader.
Central Park.
But I was just like, when I was like, I know
this is it. Yeah.
I don't know if this is a place, but I quickly pulled over, had to Google, had to use up all my bloody
data
for the day just to find this one thing. international rugby, and it was it. So I was like, this is worth the shot.
Yeah, I can't believe you remembered it. Because Big Daddy's 20-year-old movie, isn't it?
I just remember there was a hill leading into the lake, and I was like, this has to be it. But there was like a missing rock.
Yeah, which
It must have been a prop.
Yeah.
That's all.
Prop rock.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not far from there as well, you would have been able to go to the apartment building that John Lennon lived in and was murdered out front of.
Oh, jeez.
That's right near Central Park.
I'd rather go do the Big Daddy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another thing. It blows you away, the size of Central Park. Hey,
Huge.
It's enormous.
Oh, no.
And again, back to that era that I was talking about that John Joseph lived in, like Central Park was just dead bodies every day. That's like New York is such a different city now compared to back then. Like it used to be gangsters, murder, rape, just like nuts. If you go back and look at the crime statistics, it was like 900 homicides in a year or something. Like literally crazy. It was an insane place, literal concrete jungle.
And then we're here just getting selfies, frothing up. Actually, no, one thing that was shit, and we brought it up, was we nearly went and like said don't do that to girls, was the ones getting selfies down at Ground Zero.
Oh, yeah.
That was cringy.
I was surely you got to be offended by that. Like,
you'd have to.
Oh, we were just like, what is going on? What are you doing? Like,
we didn't even
just and just like posing, like, you know,
Showing
trying to
off their
look pretty
fucking
and
I'll make sure it's sexy.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
do it again. No, one more time.
Just put your phone away. Just respect what's happening or what's happened here.
Yeah.
And just see what, like, there's all these names everywhere, and like, surely
You're trying to sell your
there's got to be that connection. Yeah,
How
exactly.
can you be that tone deaf to not make that connection? Like,
It was, I was, we're pretty angry about it, I could tell you. You know, but who am I? I'm no one, so
yeah.
wouldn't have mattered if I said
we got
that
to apologise.
anyway,
That'll get out.
I remember having the same experience in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, because obviously Pearl Harbor was the attack that got the United States involved in World War II. And like a horrific event, but in particular, I think it's the USS Arizona is the one that when it got hit by the Japanese torpedoes, it capsized and then sunk with like 200 odd people trapped inside. And I don't know if they were ever exhumed, but basically that's a living cemetery. So there's a memorial that you can go to built over it, and you catch this little ferry out there, and then you can go to it, and it's got all the names and some information and whatnot. And it should be a place, like a very solemn place of introspection and thought and respect. And there's Americans there just going, oh, Todd, come over here, get this photo. Like, you know, it's just, again, it's tone deaf. It's like, these are your countrymen.
Yeah.
Like, they gave their lives in service, and like, you're shouting about fairy floss and where you're going to go for lunch after this. You know, it's like, stop and realize what's going on here. Like, I don't know, maybe for me, I just feel those events way heavier in those moments, but
it's the right way of thinking.
I don't know.
Would you go to Auschwitz and get a sexy selfie?
Yeah, I remember going to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And no one was doing any of that.
No.
You know, everyone's just actually respecting what's happened and I guess just to see the place. But that had a weird vibe, like eerie feeling as well.
Yeah.
But no one was taking selfies and all that rubbish. So
yeah, it's amazing. You talk to a lot of people that go to places like that of you know, quite significant sacrifice, where you talk about like the German concentration camps, Hiroshima, those kind of places, and it's amazing the energy that still exists there. Like if you're somebody that's open to those kind of things, that as soon as you walk in, your mood just darkens, or you feel that solemnity about the situation. Like it's crazy how it lingers.
I think it just shows what a mature person you are if you feel that,
Definitely.
or if you understand that.
Yeah.
Because selfies, they just need to put they don't even need to put signs up. Just don't fucking do it.
Nah. Well, I felt that way about Uluru, because when you go there, previously when you used to be able to walk up it, I don't know if you still can.
No, you can't now.
But basically there was signs posted everywhere, and it's like, you can climb up it, but you know, the local mob that's their spiritual land ask that you don't. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, well, I'm not going to climb it then.
No,
like,
don't do it.
This is a place of spiritual significance to them. And this dates back 40,000 years,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah.
Like, how can you just go and then just...
Yeah.
No,
I
don't do it.
personally don't understand it.
Actually, with all the boys getting like 4-wheel drives at the moment, I said to Ryan and Joe that we should do like a trip out to Uluru.
Yeah.
And not one of us mentioned anything about you can't climb the rock anymore. Because I
Yeah.
think it's just like, we know that.
Yeah, just don't
So
do it.
we don't
yeah.
need to. It's
Yeah.
just, that's just a mature common sense
You reckon
thing.
you're going to drive out there from here?
I want to send it out there.
That's a big
What for?
drive.
Why? I think, isn't it one of them places where it's just open
You
road?
got to go. Yeah.
No speed limit?
Yeah, but you can still fly to Alice Springs and
Yeah.
Alice Springs
Yeah.
and hire a car.
Yeah, hire a full drive.
That's a big old drive.
I just want
Yeah,
to do
that
it.
doesn't sound that good.
No, that sounds all right.
Just drive, out to Esk or,
Mate, I'll be doing
Laidley.
podcasts. I'll have a few podcasts on. I don't know. It's
Live
just an idea.
podcast while we drive out there.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah.
The road's dead straight.
I imagine it'd
for
be
2
like
days.
Russell Coit kind of. That'd be you.
That would actually be fun.
You go to stand on the
doing skits
vehicle
the
and
whole
then,
way.
and then it just goes into the creek or something.
I just hear the
No handbrake.
Simpsons Canyonero song playing the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Canyonero!
great car.
Amazing.
That's not a car, is it?
Yeah, isn't it the one that? What's the one that like Uncle Herb let Homer build? You know the one that was like,
It's basically a Batmobile.
yeah,
I tell you, what cars that they should do again is those the old school wagon. I forget which ones they are, but they got like the timber on the side.
Commodore.
Yeah. Commodore.
But what is it? Is it just like an old?
It is. They're old, like I
wood
don't know.
panels.
Yeah.
I don't know what brand it is, but a new car should do that exterior, but new inside. I think that'd be cool.
Just not sure how long wood lasts in the weather.
Surely they'd be able to make something.
It's all
that's
like
a-
laminated
yeah,
stuff.
like a plastic.
I feel like General Motors or one of those companies actually did try to do that
Yeah.
to bring it back,
They
the
would've-
wood panel.
no one
I
hyped
don't
on
know.
it. Oh no, I just think because vintage is cool now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just have a limited edition. Like they won't be cheap. But just have a punt. See how they go.
Have a punt.
I won't do it, but someone should.
Yeah, just Kickstarter. Yeah, you'll be right. Yeah.
Just crowdfund it.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
one.
No,
Yeah.
the old school Broncos. I'm not talking about Powers jerseys. I'm talking about the Ford
The
Ford
OJ
Bronco.
Simpson Bronco.
Is that? Yeah. Well, is
That's
that
what his
the
car
Ford-
chase was in.
Was
it was
it?
a white
What?
Ford Bronco.
Well, it's a great car.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're sick. I want one. They do still make Broncos, but
They actually started remaking them, the Ford
Yeah.
Bronco in the United States, and they look sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty full on.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a car that I do want. It's just a muck around car, and that's one of them Suzuki Jimneys.
You reckon
Oh,
they're
I
cool?
love those.
Yeah.
They just look cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty tiny, aren't they?
I'm
Yeah.
getting one. That's it.
Just
I've
for
decided
you
I'm
and
getting
Winnie.
one.
That's it.
Yeah, just do little coffee runs.
Yeah.
And then go off on the beach. Actually, yeah, I was talking to Tennille's dad the other day. They were talking about, because they got a BMW X5. He's like, yeah, I can take that on the beach. I was like, really? I've never seen it on the beach. Like, they're four-wheel drives. I can go on the beach. Anyway, so I quickly Googled BMW X5 on beach, and it's just a catalogue of bogged
Yeah.
Yeah,
BMWs.
I was about to say, have you
They're
ever
pretty
seen that
heavy,
page on
aren't they?
Facebook that I got bogged at Inskip Point?
Oh,
So many of them
everywhere.
are
Yeah.
like those Volkswagen Touaregs or BMW X3, X5s.
because they're not proper full drives. Realistically, yeah.
And also, like, generally people that buy those cars aren't full drive enthusiasts.
Yeah, so
like,
they just go straight in.
yeah, and like, X5s in particular are sold with like, low profile tires and all that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's like, they're not
You know
made for that
Yeah.
stuff.
It's embarrassing, hey?
Yeah.
So anyway, what we do, Nick and I, with, so I always say that. When I talk about something, I'll say Nick and I.
That's
That's the way you
correct
should
way.
say it,
Correct,
yeah.
mate. And I know this because you corrected Karen once on it.
Oh, really?
Karen said me and Rick, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went Rick and I. Anyway, I don't know. That was a moment of impact for me because it corrected me, and I do it. I've done it ever since. The correct way of doing it.
Really?
Well, that's good.
Nick has been a more influential
Then your grade 6
English teacher.
Yeah.
Straight up, because I used to skip English all the time.
Why?
Why? Because I could speak it already.
No.
I feel like a lot of English teachers get desensitized to it because they have to do it for so long, so many times. And so they don't make like the easy connections that are logical for people. So it's like, you know, the difference between your and your.
Yeah.
So Y-O-U-R or Y-O-U''RE is
Yeah.
like, that's your bottle of water
Yeah.
as opposed to you are holding that bottle of water. You know, it's those key little differences to make someone understand it in a different way. And because they're just going, curriculum.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm a bit of a nag about that stuff.
Oh, no, it was I learned way more from you because I think we spoke about it anyway on another podcast. We've done that many now that we just don't know. It's just all a big blur. But anyway, our first album, The Road
I know.
Ahead, there was heaps on it.
I know. I told you that. I remember I didn't buy it.
But you probably looked at the
illegally
back,
downloaded it. But I remember actually seeing on the back, and this is when we become mates early on, and I was like, there's heaps. I don't know who spelt this, but it's not right.
You shouldn't have read my lyrics.
It was Cree.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Cree. No, it was Cree, but then
You proofread it, and I was still.
what was that guy's name who does the videos? Adrian something. But he did the artwork for it.
Oh, I thought.
So he didn't even pick it up then. So everyone's an idiot.
Yeah. Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's what we should have mentioned on the tattoo episode that we did. I think it was episode 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Is if you're getting a tattoo with writing on it, check the spelling on that shit.
No regrets.
Because there's a lot of tattooists out there who won't check it. They'll just go, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
But when I was in London and Cree was in London and I organised to go get this tattoo on my leg in London.
Whereabouts? Where's that?
Yeah,
in
London.
London.
And
Yeah.
I'll say it again, London.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been there. But I remember talking to you before and I didn't get any writing on it because you told me that Cree did that album artwork. So then I was like, well, he can't spell. I'm not going to get him to do it. Literally, 100%. So there's nothing right, no writing. It's just a picture.
You got any writing on you?
Yeah.
Oh, you got
spelled right.
Yeah. No, mine's all good.
I'll check
I remember
both of you later.
I remember when you got. I still don't even know what that hand tattoo says, but I was
Well,
like,
Cree did it.
yeah, it's probably spelled wrong. You wouldn't even know.
Cree's copping it.
You know what the worst thing
now.
is? It says "live your dream," but I just had to quickly look and say he did the right "your"
Live you our dream.
Yeah.
All right. Out of all the words to get him to spell, I put your.
It's not the right one.
Far out.
Would it be dream or dreams? Yeah, only one dream. Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm living it.
Just one? You don't know.
I think there's one big dream.
Oh, okay, and that's what you're living.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm getting there.
Every day.
Yeah, you got it.
So anyway, the actual what you were getting into is that you and I.
Yeah. I don't know where we've gone there, but yeah. Nick and I, we do show and tell.
We really deviated there.
All right, so we do a show and tell with our guests. We started it and it took off, blew up. Anyway, so
Blew up.
Yeah.
Is there a hashtag for it?
Nah.
Everyone loves it. Let me tell you,
everyone's-
loves it.
Yeah.
Honestly, emails galore.
You
We put
told me
in-
the idea, and I was like, "That's a great idea." He said it was your idea, by the way. He didn't take credit for you.
Hey?
Whose idea was it?
It was his.
Oh, I thought he said you. Oh, anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
good idea. Wasn't your idea?
I think of things. I have
Oh, yeah.
ideas.
Yes,
Anyway,
yeah.
because it gets people talking and they've got something to show and
Yep.
tell about. But if you're watching, like we like to say, if you're just listening to the podcast, it's just called tell.
Yeah, true.
Correct.
So
So have I got to close my eyes and describe the object? Is that?
so we've done some cool things. Ryan brought in some coins that were worth more than what they were. Put it that way.
Then regular coins.
Than regular coins.
Really?
Yeah.
And they were special sentimental value because of his grandpappy.
Nah, it's pretty awesome.
But that was the thing. It was cool because it was something we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
So Kurt, what have you brought for show and tell? And tell me it's not a golf ball.
Nah, I was going to bring my hole-in-one golf ball, but I
That
couldn't-
actually would have been pretty
Yeah.
cool. I would rate that.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
So much easier than putting.
Yeah.
Just try to get the ball in the hole every time.
So what do you got for us?
Well, one time I went to London.
Yeah.
Nah, so this thing here, you can probably buy it from any bloody arcade in Australia. But each year I used to do these trips with my two brothers to Japan. And every year, I don't know, I think we went 6 or 7 times. But I remember just being like, I saw this exact,
Dude.
Goku, yeah. just in one of those arcade things where you got to put the money in and then, you know, you got to try and knock it out or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe the claw. I can't remember what it was. But I was just so determined to get it. And, you know, I started off and it was pretty tough. And I probably put about $40 to $50 in already. And I was like,
You could have bought it.
This is getting a bit expensive. Yeah. And one of the Japanese girls who worked there obviously saw me struggling with it and knew that I wanted it.
Yeah.
So she actually opened the front of the glass door and like kind of balanced it so then like it would just, I could get it.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it was, Japanese people are so lovely.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
Hey.
so here I am. $20 later, still fed it in. I still couldn't get it down, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I just ended up just stopping. You know, I'd probably spent $80. It's only worth, you know, I don't know how much they're worth, but
Look
it was.
on
I was
eBay.
just like, oh, I just wanted that sentimental value to be like, yeah, I won this in Japan. How
Yeah.
cool! And we left the arcade with me empty-handed, and I was just so spewing about it. And then half an hour later, we just walked past one of the shops that just sells them, you know. So then I just bought it for like $30 or whatever. Yeah, so it probably cost me $120 for it. And but yeah, I got one now. So
I was
Amazing.
really hoping she was going to. The story was she chased after you and say, "Here, you deserve this" or something. But nah.
no, didn't
Still
happen.
left
Yeah,
it.
I was just like such a disappointment.
I love how she even tried to like
Help
even
you.
the playing field.
Literally, yeah, it was just like holy. You know, this bloody white dude's just got no idea what he's doing. And it was a struggle. And then, yeah, I just ended up buying one anyways because I was like, well, I still like it.
Yeah.
So,
But the problem is,
buy it in Japan or in
in
London?
Japan.
Oh,
no.
okay. What was the London thing?
No,
What's going on about
I was
that?
talking about the tattoo earlier. But then I was just joking about,
Okay.
yeah, London. Wow, I've been to London. No one cares. So, yeah, there we go. And it's pretty high. It's strong. Yeah, it's
Pretty
the
rigid.
real deal. Doesn't even say, like, made in Japan or anything.
But
Like,
you'll probably never sell it.
usually they do. No, I never said. Oh, it does. It
Have you
says
strapped a rocket to it yet?
made in China? Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, no.
What
it's
was
great. So
what
it
was
just
the
sits
reason
on
for
my-
wanting? Like, are you a big Dragon Ball Z fan, or you just thought it was cool?
Nah, man. I am a big fan of you know Japanese things, and yeah, I would love to pretend like I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, but I just never watched them. Like I watched it when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
because they'd go for so long, I'd only see like
depends on
half
what
a
time
season or something.
In terms
yeah.
of what time you had to leave to school.
Yeah,
Exactly, because 8:30 that cut off, and then yeah.
That was the thing, is that I remember watching it and like it'd be some big battle episode, like where they're, you know, got this huge nemesis.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't watch an episode for another 6 months and I'd come back and he was still fighting the
battling.
same
Yeah,
guy.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember
And it
just-
was the same fight.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
Still charging up.
And that's the thing. I said to Kara, I was like, we need, because now Dragon Ball Z is on maybe Disney Plus or one of those things, and I said we need to watch like the whole every episode.
Yeah.
And we just still haven't done it because I don't have time. I didn't have time when I was a kid. Don't have time now. So
Yeah. I think I tried.
Yeah.
I was going to try that with Pokemon, but
Yeah.
no, I got over it pretty quick.
oh, it's just too much, and it's not as enjoyable when you're older.
Nah.
You know.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're younger, it was just you only had that time before school to watch it, and that was it. There was no DVDs, there was no internet, there was no, you know, cassette tapes where you could physically watch it. It was like if I miss it, that's it. I don't actually get to see it.
Yeah. No Foxtel IQ to zap it and then watch it later.
No.
I think Family Guy and South Park is probably the only thing I can do it with now,
Yeah.
where I'll sit down and watch
Well,
everything
they're more like
relatable.
adult
Yeah.
cartoons, right?
And they very rarely like have long-term things. It's, you know,
Yeah,
the
it's just-
episode is start, middle, end.
Yeah.
So it's like you get it all
Yeah.
out, whereas that was a series that just kept going and going and
Yeah.
going. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Oh, thanks for bringing that in for Chantel. What
Yeah,
else,
no worries.
What else is going on? You got any gigs coming up? Probably not. No one does.
Gigs? Nah, I don't know what's going to happen.
Actually,
with
have you
this
been
and all
offered a
that.
gig?
Yeah,
what-
we have.
We did at Elephant and Wheelbarrow.
What takes to Vegas?
in the valley.
Yeah, but it's to 100 people. I forgot about it.
Is that the room cap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were probably on the bill, and then they're just like,
No, it
the
was
date's
that,
already been. Oh, we forgot. Sorry.
We Set Signals album launch.
Yeah.
But they wanted us to headline.
Yeah,
And I said, no, it's not cool.
yeah, you're not going to do it.
No, I don't think you should headline over someone's album launch.
No, but it does happen if they're a smaller band.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, do you remember on just seeing posters and be like EP launch or album launch or whatever?
Yeah.
And they weren't always the headliner. Like, if you're just not a headliner band, well, then that's
Doesn't
fine.
have big, but when we're on like the same sort of level now,
Yeah.
I, know, I think if Takes to Vegas does a show again, it has to be a big comeback show.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it 100 people. I want to do it to like 500. So yeah.
But we set signals. I actually enjoy
they're
their
a good
music.
band.
Yeah, everything that Wilco writes, I'm always like,
Yeah,
that's
it's catchy.
catchy.
It is catchy.
That's good.
Man, I've known Wilco for a long time. Like back when I was in a course Unite is when I first met him because
Yeah.
we'd play in Bundaberg
Yeah.
quite a lot. And his band was Last Call.
Yeah.
So I know him from all the way back
That's
then.
right. Yeah, I remember we left our trailer at his parents' house for the week.
Yeah.
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 Because we had to go back up there and play more shows. But we didn't want a carted trailer of PA gear.
So yeah, what's the Brave doing? Have you got stuff coming up?
Yeah, well, the thing is, so Denham, the other guitarist,
Yeah.
he's written 2 million songs,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just sitting there. So I don't know. I need to call Nate. Nate just had a kid, so everyone this year, COVID's happened, but also everyone else just focusing on their own, their self or personal growth or whatever. But yeah, next year we'll release a bunch of tracks. Like there's some stuff we demoed before COVID that we're ready to release, but now that we've had 6 months, 8 months on COVID, we're like, we could probably do better, you know. But I would rather just never release another album again and just
singles.
keep doing singles until I'm 100 years old.
Yeah.
Like, because I know when I open Spotify, I don't care if the band's got an album or whatever. I just give me new music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a new song every 2 months and I'll be stoked.
Yeah.
And if it's a crap song, I just got to wait 2 more months and you probably write a better one.
We actually, with Take Us to Vegas, the last album we did, we thought about not doing an album, just recording 12 songs and every month releasing a new song because you can get a whole year's worth of the same.
Yeah. Kanye did it first, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. He just released singles for like a year.
Yeah, and then went for president.
Yeah, exactly. So you could be president. Yeah.
Oh.
Sick. And photography, videography wise, like obviously you got work coming up.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Today.
Is there anything
today.
you can talk about that you're really excited, or is it sort of just all?
No, there's just like a bunch of this and that. Like the golf events and stuff that I normally shoot each year, they've been cancelled for the next season. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. And yeah, I won't be going back to America anytime soon because of everything that's going on there. So
Good on you for not saying what it is.
what do you mean?
Usually everyone drops why.
Yeah.
Like we've all fucking forgotten.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
we won't be going back because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, final point. Like, if there's any budding photographers out there, what's some advice you could give them? Like, perhaps with the experience you've got now, what would you tell your younger self?
Don't quit your job, like because it's a real struggle at first. Especially when I quit. I didn't have any clients or anything, and here I was trying to be a hero.
I'm still taking that advice on board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so don't quit your day job until you're better than your day job.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a couple of dudes I know that have quit or they're transitioning to quit, and I'm like, yeah, just don't do that yet. You got a bit to go. And I think sometimes a reality check is good as well. Like you need someone to just be like, hey, you're not that good yet.
Yeah, you're not quite there.
Just have a go. Yeah, keep going, but.
You need to be twice as busy with, say, for a photography, you need to be twice as busy at photography than your normal job first before you do it. Don't be just as busy, be twice as busy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a fine
that's
line
hard too.
Yeah, there's a fine line where risk taking is good and it's exciting and it's growth and people should do that, but there is that fine line of when to take that risk, because like you said, you should hold on to that job while you're building your skills and your clientele and all that type of gear. So then you've still got that safety net and you're not just, throwing yourself in the deep end and then you can't even do that job, because you don't even have fuel to get to the job.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there's definitely nuance to it where you don't want to jump the gun too much, but you've still got to have the confidence to back yourself at one point. Because I know there is a point with a lot of people where maybe your day job is now meaning you're losing opportunities.
Yeah, and that's when I transitioned, that's what I felt as well. It was like I was taking so many sick days or that I ran out of sickies at work anyway. So I was like, well, and I needed to pursue this career because that's just what I felt like I needed to do. So it was like either, I quit my day job or I just don't take that opportunity or so.
Those were the similar advice I had from two people. One was Shonny, so Chantel Duncan.
Yeah.
And Brittany Saunders.
Yep.
So they both massive successful people now, but they said you'll never know until you've quit your job because you'll be forced to work hard for yourself then.
Yeah.
And that's when the success will start.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
But also at the same time, I imagine they had support as well. Like Cara, if I didn't have Cara, I would have just been on the dole and, eating cans of baked beans. I kind of was at the start anyway. But, because she was able to give me, that support, like, emotionally. Exactly. And then, financially as well. It's not like here I am saying, oh, I'm the king and, I did it all myself, because it's not true. Like, I was lucky to have someone to be able to either kick my ass or either be like, hey, you're not making any money at the moment. Like, what's going on? Like,
well, that'd be for me. If I was to do something, Tennille would be there kicking my ass.
Yeah, exactly. And you need that person. Like, I don't want her to be that person because, she doesn't have to worry about it. But at the same time, I guess if they're love you and invested, in what you want to do, then you'll succeed together rather than like, if you're trying to do stuff individually, like for a single person trying to, be a business person, like I don't know how you'd do it.
It's tough. It would be tough. And like I think the three of us are in the same boat where we've got good relationships and amazing partners that support our dreams because, through music, photography, shred life, and with what I'm doing now, like our partners have been so supportive. And Rani's been amazing with me retraining to start all my, coaching and rehabilitation.
It's a whole new life.
So like we're definitely examples of that common saying. It's like, behind every successful man is a good woman.
100%.
It's like so much of our success and happiness has to be attributed to our partners and what they've done for us. So
good on you, girls.
Cheers, chicks.
And that. All right, let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we got to do some stuff. I got to go to work.
You got to. I got to get back to editing.
All right. Well, I don't think we actually said it out loud through show and tell, but what Kurt has is a Goku doll. I don't think we actually said that out loud.
Oh, we said Dragon Ball Z.
Figurine
sculpture.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to insult you.
Yeah.
Until right at the end of the podcast. But thanks for coming along, man. It's been fun getting inside your brain.
Yeah, good chats.
And
see you, I don't know, like after, I don't know.
See you in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably less than that.
Thanks,
Sick. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Nothing for you.